What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. All right, so I'm not a big fan of comedy, generally speaking. It's just not really something that I'm like, it's particularly stand-up comedy. But recently, God knows why, but I went into like the rabbit hole of Joe Rogan and Carlos Mencia. As a kid, I like loved Carlos Mencia. I know that's kind of dopey, but I don't know. I thought he was fun, and I went into like, if you don't know, maybe you're a bit younger than me. Basically, Joe Rogan like ended Carlos Mencia's career, and like in the early 2000s, Carlos Mencia was like arguably the biggest stand-up comic in the world, and Joe Rogan basically called him a joke thief. And yeah, it basically destroyed his career. And I kind of went down this rabbit hole of like, checking out these guys and what they had to say about Mencia. Was he actually a joke thief? And so basically the argument was like, yeah, he did like straight up steal jokes, right? And like, but also like more so than that is that he would steal like premises and like concepts from other people. And I'm just like, to me, and like basically Rogan's argument was, um, like this is not accepted in any other form of art, right? Like in like high art, like this would never be accepted. So like, why do we accept this in comedy? And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, but it kind of is, right? And it's like, how can you like really knock a guy for like stealing premises? It's like, where did you get the premise from, right? It's like, even like the premise of a joke. Like, can we never tell a joke again, right? So it's like, I mean, think about it, like a band does a cover. Like, nobody's like upset about that. And you could say like, oh, well, they disclose, everyone knows that it's a cover. Like, that's true. But, like what about like movies that are like heavily influenced by like concepts from the Bible or concepts from Shakespeare? I mean, Shakespeare even is so heavily influenced by the Bible, right? And then I was thinking about like visual art, and what came to mind was Virgin and Child, which is one of like the most famous paintings, right? And basically it's a picture of the Virgin Mary with the infant Christ, right? And basically everyone has done a Virgin and Child. So check it out, right? So this is just a Google search, like Virgin and Child, right? These are some of the more famous ones, but it's basically the same picture, right? And everyone kind of does their rendition of it, right? So like the premise, and then even like the influence, it's so obvious, right? Like you get into the Renaissance period, and like you kind of, you start to see like very similar stuff, and nobody's upset about this, right? And you could, if we're just talking about like oh, this is similar, right? It's like, okay, well, like what about like Haydn and Mozart, right? Like how similar are they? Is Mozart a fraud because like I think Haydn was first? Like no, nobody thinks that, right? So I don't know. I guess speaking of premises, I would reject the premise upon which Joe Rogan has built his argument. But let me know what you think. If I'm wrong, what am I missing? Anyway, take care.